Hello and welcome to the multi-tier console Overwatch tournament. This is the Grandmaster tier between the Throne and Kommunism. I'm your host Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer. Have a really good game for you tonight from the highest tier from Xbox NA, and really excited for this one. Headrammer, man, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Thanks for asking. Ready to get to see some top tier console Overwatch.
I got a really stacked deck tonight again. The Throne coming in 1-1, though I will say that only loss is a forfeit, so we're looking to see them come out strongly. Kommunism still looking for their first win of the season, 0-2 here, and looking to get it against a very tough opposition, and definitely have their work cut out for them in this best 2 of 3 series. It'll be Kings Row, followed by Junkertown and Horizon Lunar Colony to close it out. I think both teams are ready, so we'll get you into Kings Row quickly. Now, no control point this week. How do you think teams are going to fare?
I think it's a little bit different because there's sometimes, so the way this game is played, there's, you know, all these different formats, and some teams are a lot better at the control points than they are at the normal, like, payload and assault type maps. I know, teams that you are usually very strong on, like, the 1v1 front often tend to be pretty strong, on the control points. And when your team has that advantage, so a lot of times, you know, tiebreakers are usually control point, so if your team is really, really good at those, then you can kind of come back from those like map 5 situations. But because we only play 3 maps in this one, and one of them is typically a control point, and you don't have it today, if Kommunism is particularly strong on control point, they actually might struggle a little bit more than usual in this matchup.
You do bring a valid point. Oftentimes we see teams able to use that middle control point to kind of get back into the game. They're a little bit less objective focused. So yeah, no opportunity for that here, but definitely expect that these teams can come out strongly.
So we do have Kommunism attacking first here, and the Throne defending. Looks like they're going to be, I don't know if this is what they're coming out with at first, but they do have a little bit of a modified goats lineup with May instead. Got some snoats. And May can be so good about controlling chokes, especially this front door here in Kings Row. When you seem to be so careful while walking through there, it's very easily for your team, if you're not properly grouped up, to get split in half and then just collapse upon.
Why don't people call May goats mountain goats? I feel like it's very like snow related,
I believe,
right?
I think Moats is already taken. It's monkey goats.
Huh. Well,
or maybe that's floats. I think it's actually floats.
Oh, right off the bat, Finito coming in for Kommunism in a very difficult position. The wall coming up from Empowered, and it works to perfection, but no kind of follow through for the defenders. They decide to let it ride, and the rest of the attack starts to come back around. Fire strike from Finito here into the fray. Doesn't find anybody just yet, but he's still leading the way for the rest of the team. And finally pinned out. Wonderful, able to take him down. Already things going the way of the Throne on defense. 6v5 as the attackers will retreat.
Oh yeah, on the Sombra. We're seeing a little bit of the Sombra goats here, where you typically take out the Diva and you replace it with Sombra, which can be really, really impressive. There's so many abilities all these characters have in the goats composition, and when you can just EMP or hack them and just delete them all, it can be a little bit overwhelming, disorienting.
Yeah, as speaking of ultimates, you see Wonderful there with one and not quite able to use it before dropping, so will not be able to use the Shatter, and already Sombra here for the attack. WYA on about 98% of that EMP. Use it immediately, catches a couple. Cube drops, it's bullets to the face, but the rest of the kills going the way of the defenders. Not too sure about that EMP. Tries to fade away and drops for it, so a little rough there for the attack. Initial start there, they were able to take down Wonderful with that ultimate in his pocket, but yeah, the follow through not great, and the defense wraps up.
Yeah, the EMP was a little bit poorly timed. It came out upon very close to the time at which they got grabbed, and there was no ability to follow up on it.
Ooh, Shadow there from, yeah, he's able to catch one. Finito finds the one, but then the Shadow coming the other direction from Wonderful. There's the Blizzard to combine. Things looking rough once more for Kommunism. Throne taking them to task as the kills start to go their way. Blue in the kill feed. And again, it's defense wrapping up cleanly. Still time, though, for the attackers. There's 2 minutes on the clock for them. They've got Surefour's rally on the Brigitte, a 98% to the Graviton. So what do you think they need to change here?
They need to take advantage a little more. There's been a few times which they have actually gotten the pick, but never not been able to fully press their advantage. They've gotten trapped up by this May quite a lot.
Tried to use the wall there. I don't know, was it planned or not, or just kind of figured the other direction, but they used the wall and then the Graviton to combine. and actually didn't wall anybody off this time, but it worked for the defenders regardless. 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. Still the Graviton available here from the attack.
Well, yeah, really needs to build up this EMP. This EMP is going to be one of their major win conditions here. And if they don't get that, or don't get a big one, they're in for a bad situation. But picking up Wonderful is actually huge.
That gigantic Ahoy's going to follow up with the Graviton. Catches just the Mei in the ice block. It still might be enough to take it down, but yeah, looks like empowered. Pretty squirrely, but not quite enough. Finally, the attack gets onto the point, and it looks like the throne will back off a little bit. Yeah, it looks like they're just waiting for the rest of the...
There's no reason you can't read this.
6 to come back in, trying to come back in there. There's the rally. There's all the support ultimates coming out. Look at him get some wins here. The Shatter from Finito does find some, but the healing is too much. Can't really find any kills. Swinging away big. Yeah, it does catch 3 there for the defense. Wonderful. One of them gets his pin back, able to use a little bit to get Aspire at least, but a huge shot in the other direction. There he goes. Ooh, gets a few kills. It's already 2 ticks gone for the attackers, though. 35 seconds here. Not a lot of time left to work with, and maybe this is their opportunity to break through, but here's the Blizzard coming out from Empowered. No one trapped, though. The attack comes back through, weathering that storm quite literally, and with 20 seconds on the clock, looks like they will cap 8. Solid there from Kommunism. Throne were giving them quite a bit of trouble. Vinny here now threatening to have a long spawn. Uses the Graviton. Got to kind of keep the attackers belayed there at least momentarily and able to get back. That would have been really difficult. Nice heads up play there to use the Graviton to stay in it and make sure he wouldn't split the team by having that staggered spawn.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Throne wants to hold this really close. And oh, Vinny taken out. They do trade for a kill, but I think I would take that that trade any day. Now, we did see in the last fight, support ults were layered by the Throne, so they're a little bit behind in the support ult economy here. Well, there is a brief time which this Grav from Ahoy could do quite a lot of work.
Yeah, has a position here on the top, opts not to use it. Now Cube's got the Transcendence. Couldn't have known, but the margins were tight. There goes the other direction, and there's the Trans to try and negate it. The follow-through coming in from the attackers. There's a Shatter, though, the other direction from Wonderful. Both Shatters coming out now, and members down all over the place. Aspire Lisa, the first to fall, though, for the Throne as the attack continues to push. There's a second and a third. Kills piling up here for Kommunism. They're rolling through the second section, and really solid job there. We saw the Throne kind of dominating them in that first section, but now in the mid-portion here, they're making good time.
They are making good time. It does seem like a little bit like the kind of a Throne isn't fully playing like a team right now. There's so many skilled players on the team, but the coordination looks to be lacking a little bit. We've seen them layer up their support ultimates a bit. We've seen a few Shatters that have kind of just been thrown out without a lot of follow-up, but I'm sure once we get warmed up a little bit more, they'll be there.
They're exactly right, but now they've got ultimates building. The Blizzard's on the way for Empower, but here's a rally as well from Aspire Lisa. They've got the sound barrier as well. Wonderful, close to another Shatter. So a lot of ultimates on deck here for the defense, and you expect them to be able to at least momentarily stop the attack here on the doorstep of the B checkpoint, which they do. Kommunism will retreat here. They've got under a minute now, 4.5 meters away for this late contest, but I will say with the way this had been going, kind of positive to see them come out and at least have an opportunity for B here when it looked like they were having a hard time capping anything on A.
Yeah, Kommunism needs this EMP. They don't have it yet, but Waya really needs to be building this up. Because that's what every single fight they've won has been off the back of the EMP.
Now, but look at the support ultimates.
But he's scouting
all the ultimates
right
here. There's the Vinny Graviton coming out from a couple of Transcendence the other way utility. The only thing Kommunism has to work with. There's the Blizzard, freezes a couple. Finito can't get the pin out. Sure for both of those armored heroes down here for Kommunism. Tanks falling over the place as the kill feed once again lighting up for the Throne. And yeah, a lot of ultimates used there for Kommunism, but I think they still got the Transcendence. Nobody's going to be able to get back regardless. Solid defense there for the Throne overall. A little bit of a hiccup in the center of the middle section, but ultimately stopping them before B. I think it's a successful defensive effort here on Kings Row.
Yeah, I definitely think there was a mistake on Waya's side to not be trying to build that EMP up. He was doing a lot of scouting, but that wasn't what they needed. They really needed the EMP to be able to win that fight against the ultimate advantage that the Throne had. But if you saw at the end there, I think what was that, like 80% to EMP? Well, that was after not trying to build it for a solid like 30 seconds or so when there were less than a minute left.
Yeah, that could have been the difference.
I think if they had spent a little bit more, because EMP is such a game-changing ultimate. It's basically like a support ult on its own, because you can just cancel everyone else's abilities. Imagine if you had gotten, say, I don't know, this is really, really high expectations here, but if you had gotten like a 6-man EMP across the entirety of the throne, and suddenly the ultimate advantage from that team's gone. All their abilities and their ultimates are gone.
Ready for battle.
Very good point.
Looks like they'll be running more of the same here on the defense. Somber goods.
Attackers incoming in
Kommunism's actually always been a very big Somber team. Last season, they based their team pretty much solely around Somber for much of it, and it actually provided a lot of success for them. Because Somber is such an annoying character, where you can, you know, you just make everyone else not be able to use their character.
Using the Somber here on defense again, like you said, for the attack. Cube looking for anything from the defense early. Doesn't quite see anything. It may change here. Empowered possibly on the Hanzo. If that's the case. Taking a high angle, looking for any kind of advantage he can give his team.
Ooh, they get Cube in the back already.
Yeah, huge there for the defense. That's going to be a good start for them. Empowered trying to return the favor. Gets hacked though, and actually could get melted here. That's, yeah, can end the fight there, right? Oof, defense looking good. And again, we just saw, I think just trying to earn a little bit of ultimate charge, maybe trying to stagger one of the supports, obviously with the longer respawn, but Empowered going in after the fight. Lost there, looking for something. Still already 30% to the Dragon Strike. Right up there with Wonderful and Aspire, at least the highest there for the attack. But now as they look to come back in, just lobbing in damage right now. Vinny trying to get a little bit of those bombs through. Wyatt in the back finds the hack, gets it. I think that's on Wonderful. That's a big hack there, and the defenders will try and close in on that Reinhardt. Moving in quickly, not over committing, staying behind the statue. There goes the shield though. Finito's down. Huge for Empowered, and now the throne looking to come back on without the main tank there for the defenders' Kommunism.
Yeah, losing your main tank is pretty much a signal for a lost fight in these Ghost compositions. I would say it started out really, really well for Kommunism. They got the nice pick off on the Zen. They were able to then push their advantage and build up their ults, but I think they might have pushed a little too far there. Just Finto taking so much damage. The Discord is on him and the headshots are real.
Yeah, and recognizing obviously once the main tank, like you said, goes down, team fight lost, and you saw the entire rest of Kommunism, the defense just withering away back into this tunnel, waiting for the payload to come back through. There's another hack onto Empowered though from Y in the back, looking to build the EMP, like you were talking about, so important, and looking to help Kommunism turn a weak attacking effort into a strong defensive one. Here comes the combination though. There's the Dragon Strike coming through from Empowered. Wonderful gets in as well. There's a kill feed. Huge for the throne. Oh my god. What a combination.
Yeah,
and that's what you like to see.
Terrifying combination. Because, you know, Transcendence can get a lot of the damage, but you just pile extra damage on top of it by, you know, swinging your Reinhardt's hammer through it, throwing the high charge Zarya into it, you will push through Transcendence.
Yeah, just gigantic there. Just getting all the damage through.
Kommunism has to be the aggressors here. They have a huge alternate advantage. They don't want to go down having 5 ults in the bank.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think they set themselves up really well. There's the EMP right off the bat. They do catch a couple there. Oh, actually, I think it might have just been Empowered. The shadow the other direction may not help them. There's the rally and the Transcendence, though, from the throne either way. Sound barrier in the mix just to make sure. Seal kills going the way of the throne, though. Swinging big here is Wonderful. Looking for something. Finito finally drops to the hammer. Aspire getting in there as well. Yeah, and I think the throne will take this map, just able to brush aside the defense here from Kommunism, just not quite strong enough. Still the contention coming back through. It's a Moira now, utility making the switch to get back more quickly. 1.4 meters away, and it's just... Oh, Pixels from getting over the line. There it is for the throne. Strong win on Kings Row. Take the lead in the series.
Yeah, it looked like Throne knew exactly what kind of win condition were they. They were expecting the Sombra. The Zen was able to prop trance right when she decloaked, saving the rest of the team from those abilities, and then even when the Shatter came out, the rest of the team was a little bit far away, so they weren't able to immediately follow up on it. The damage ended up being negated by the Transcendence anyways. Ooh. Hanzo shots.
Really impressive. Impressive effort there.
78% kill participation by the Mei.
Oof. Wonderful. Yeah, Empowered. On playing the Hanzo, the Mei really solid there for the throne. We'll get the second map of this game. Is going to be Junkertown. We return to the Overwatch console multi-tier tournament right after this. Well, completely agree.
I think maybe the Junkrat scared them a bit.
Yeah, they just got up to the choke a bit too early and delayed, and Bougie was able to find that pick onto the Moira. Oh my god, again, in a second. Oh my god, what a double there for Bougie. sure to use it. Bot's coming over the top.
There
There's
it
the
is.
combination. There's a Graviton. Got a Death Blossom. Finds one, finds two. There's three for Daniel Orford. Kill feed lighting up for Kinetics. With a tire, tries to find something in the fray. Public Enemy able to get a kill. Pick onto Nova Blue. A triple kill from Slump, though. Yeah,
There's the grab. Is there a dragon to follow it up? Yes, there is. Coalescence as well, but
What a god, Joanne.
Milkman trying to get in the face. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Rouse getting a 5-man combined with Escape where that will be a team kill.
Both teams in a shatter as well. You see if H-Bomb can cut through this healing. It doesn't look like that'll be the case. Another Graviton here coming out for the attackers. Dragon Strike combo. Maybe Soul Reaver with a triple. Oh my god, to be aggressive, you need to help out your team. Right there, fantastic shatter. That's 4 for you.
4, man.
God, getting very good. Soul Reaver here on Zarya. Full charge. Uses a Graviton. Finds a couple. Here comes the attackers, though. Graviton coming the other direction with the sound barrier, though, for the defenders. Fantastic response. Oh my god.
broke is open. Brought back there with another grab.
So it looks like Vinny returned. I don't know where the other two went.
Welcome back to the Console Overwatch multi-tier tournament. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Headrammer. And a really solid performance there from the Throne on Kings Road. Now going into Junkertown, how do you expect Kommunism to respond?
So I think Kommunism, excuse me. So Kommunism looks like they definitely looked their best when they were pushing their advantages. A lot of times they looked a little bit on the passive side, like they weren't fully sure they wanted to engage. But when they got those initial picks and actually pushed their advantage, they looked really, really solid. But at the same time, they also need to make sure they don't get a little bit too apprehensive about it and kind of overextend. I think that's why they lost their main tank on their initial defense, where they were excited, they got the pick, they pushed it a little too far, dropped the shield for a second, takes a volley from Zen and a headshot from Hanzo, just falls because measured aggression is really, really important to GOATs. You need to know when you can push your advantages and when you're going too far and when to retreat. Looks like Dangus will be coming in for this next one from the Throne.
With that kind of push pull, just saying. Let's see.
Yeah. So our next map being Junkertown. So a little bit of a different type map. This map is a map we could potentially not see GOATs. Because it's so open, there's a lot more variety you can do. You can definitely run GOATs here. But GOATs definitely has a lot more advantages in situations where it's in kind of enclosed spaces. And like that. But with this one being so wide open, I wouldn't be super surprised to see a little bit more DPS on the side of the Throne. I know specifically the Throne likes to do quad DPS sometimes. Could potentially work here because there is some high ground locations you could do and take advantage of. But I wouldn't be too surprised to see some snipers, maybe a little more Hanzo from Empowered.
Very true. We have seen that quad DPS come out occasionally, so see that here on Junkertown. You do bring up a valid point. GOATs is difficult to run, very open. We see a lot of snipers and a lot of other unique comps. Maybe a little Wrecking Ball as well, so
yeah.
See what we can see here.
Of course, at the same time, we might see a little bit of counter where people are like, well, what if we just ran Bastion? What if we bring back the pirate ship?
You can't fall into the trap of the pirate ship.
Nah. It is by far the best strat that nobody's ever beaten. Looks like the Throne is currently ready. I'm waiting for the ready up from Kommunism.
All right.
Of which well, so we do have a sub coming in. We have for Kommunism. We have Shore 4 for Misadapt.
Let's see. All right. Yeah. Speaking of which, speaking of Xbox updates, Paris. What are your like initial thoughts? We don't want to give away too much, obviously, but what do you think about adding to the map? Excited?
So I'm always excited for new maps. Well, I'm excited and always like scared when they add new maps. Specifically because, I'm excited, new maps, new different strategies, new ways you can play it. But at the same time, what I've noticed, every single time they come out with a new map, I have really, really bad games on that map because nobody knows how to play it correctly. People haven't like figured it out yet. You haven't seen the pros play it. You haven't seen it like figure it out, quote unquote. So I have really bad luck on them. But once the map's like, actually I feel like once the map after it comes out, I usually end up liking the map that came out previously because people understand it more. It looks like we do have the ready up from both teams now. So sure first should probably be spectating Kommunism. But to kick it off to Junkertown.
All right, looks like we'll get you into Junkertown as soon as possible. Junkertown, we're not going to see in a while.
You're right. I actually haven't seen a whole lot of this map. I feel like even in my own competitive games, I don't know the last time I played Junkertown. I don't know if it's just, luck of the draw or what.
Luck of the draw, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't mind this map anymore. Kind of going with my strategy, my theory from before. But it is so open. So, like I said, you can run a whole lot of these things. If you're running, if we do end up seeing a little of the pirate ship, I expect we'll probably see the defense. If they're playing it correctly, and like hold back a little bit and play these corners by the health packs, specifically by the mega by the bridge, second bridge. And it looks like we might be seeing a bat. Is Empowered teasing me? He could be teasing me on the bastion.
You just can't.
Does this come to this one? Actually, I have to be being teased because there's no healer.
Hmm.
Oh, unless that's the strat. You see,
Crazy.
maybe
strats
not
to
all
work
of us
from.
play at the level. Exactly, they've transcended healing. They've hit the peak SR where you actually don't need to be healed. You heal yourself.
Oh, there we go. Spartley's switching over. But Hopeful, the substitute coming in, could be an interesting addition here for the comp. See if that changes things here for the throne. Already, like we said, off to a good start, up 1-0 in this series after a win on King's Row. Pretty solid defensive effort and respectable attacking effort that finally got them over the line with time to spare. Coming in quickly, Hopeful sees a target and, oh my god, eliminates Waya right off the bat. Dissolved was the Widow in the back. The defenders already a little bit disadvantaged here. Attack
And
continuing
then
to
need
push.
to drop and hold these corners more because when you have this bastion, you need to be like right when he comes over the bridge is basically when you need to strike. But they're kind of already past that point.
And with the rest of the damage dealers doing damage here, Cubed getting 2 kills, finds Varsity and Finito both down here. Vinny now back out on here with the Roadhog looking to find something. Misadapt dropping another substitute coming into the game, and this payload largely uncontested all the way to the first checkpoint.
Yeah, this strategy is very, very hard to kind of counter. You have one, you have so much sustained damage from the Bastion, just kind of like daring you to come at him, and then at the same time you have Genji and you have Hanzo is laying down the pressure before you can even get there, diving your backline, causing distractions. You have Roadhog just breaking your shields. You need to like attack the cart all at once.
Over here with the Dragon Blade, already finds Misadapt. That's 1 kill. Looks for utility up top, but in Valkyrie is safe away from the blade. Empowered, however, finding another support instead. Varsity down here as the throne continue to push pretty aggressively. Benito just not able to get away from Hopeful, who was just darting and dodging, just too evasive in and around these tanks, slicing and dicing through people as the throne just really got him easily kind of rolling through this middle portion here. Still 4:52 on the clock. What a time bank. Still ultimates available. Some changes coming through here for the defenders. What do you make of the Ashe switch from Wyatt? Ooh, over to Zarya instead. Oof,
Back
close.
over the Zarya. I think they're thinking they need a little bit more sustain, so they're going over to triple tank. They're like, well, you have a lot of damage, but we have a lot more health. Come at us.
Ooh.
At the same time, I do wonder if Misstep's going to be going over to the Brig after he spends the drag. He's going to have about 6% here. Otherwise, they'll be lacking a little bit in the heals.
UP with the Dragon Strike. Vinny there. Gonna use the whole hog, a little unfortunately. Now sees all the enemies in a tough spot. And there's a Dragon Strike. Finds nothing though. Payload continuing to move. 5:40 on the clock here for the attackers. They still have a Valkyrie available, plus the Infra Sight from Empowered, who just picked off Misadapt. Hopeful now with another Dragon Blade. Wastes no time. Earns it. Uses it. Use it to lose utility. It drops, but Finito takes down that pesky Genji. But still, yeah, the defense not really engaging the payload as much as you'd expect.
Well, yeah, they're under so much pressure from the DPS and tank of the offense here. They're not just daring them to come forward and push forward. They just keep pushing and pushing, and getting a pick and then taking advantage of it while the cart just moves completely untouched.
Nice whole approach out of spawn here from Kommunism. Utility and Misadapt, those super supports getting kills here for the defenders. Waya finding another one. So finally able to get a kill, kind of a team fight victory there. Kommunism was taking a lot of pressure, like you were saying, and finally pushing back the throne. A lot of ults coming out here from the attackers.
They were finally able to group up as a team. They were just being staggered. I think they were staggered pretty much the entirety of second point and like half of third point. And now that they finally were able to group up in their goats composition, they've actually built up a few ults now. And as long as they don't get horrifically picked off, they can potentially hold for a bit. Ooh, but losing Lucio early.
Yeah, huge there. Hopeful getting a Hoy out of mech as well. Still punching in and out, looking for something. Its utility and its sights is hacked. Has a Transcendence, but can't quite use it. Still looking for the opportunity. There comes a rally, though, from Misadapt. Trying to keep everything going strong here for the defenders. Successful so far, but Hopeful back in the mix. The Meteor Strike hasn't decided to use it yet. It's Y in his sights and able to help get the kill onto that Zarya.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of disorganization on the side of Kommunism. Right there in that fight, it was incredibly scrappy. Each member of Kommunism was shooting a different person. Now, if they don't win this fight, I'm actually going to be really disappointed because they have 5 ultimates. And they have the full ultimate growth. They need to use their ults.
Yeah, the first of which here, there's the sound barrier coming out from Varsity. The Shatter looks for one. I think actually does find Vinny, but there's a Dragon Strike the other way to try and split the defense and finds utility. Steal kills going the way of Kommunism, though. A nice hack there onto a Hoy will make it difficult, but I think Spiralisa dropping means everything done here. Kommunism investing 2 ultimates and getting the team fight. I think that's economical.
I think so too. It's definitely what they need to do. They need to stabilize themselves, actually use some ults. They're being really passive. The biggest thing in this next fight is going to be this both this EMP, the EMP and the Dragon Blade versus utility on the Zen. Is he going to be able to get off this Transcendence before this happens?
Empowered using it, finds him immediately. He's not able to get it off. There's a second kill. Empowered finds Varsity, and even though the Graviton coming out there, we'll see if it actually does much. Actually able to get Misadapt as well. Huge combination there for Empowered, and the Throne looking good. 3 kills with just the 1 ultimate. Hova coming down with another, however. Sees the target. Utility having a really difficult time staying up. He uses the Transcendence, finally stays alive, and is looking to get the defenders back on their feet, but Varsity dropping could not stay in the order of healing.
They are getting some picks, but there's just so many losses on the side of defense. I do not think they'll be able to stabilize.
Yeah, they're having a difficult time coming out of spawn, and Hopeful's not making it easy. Getting punches in left and right. They can't quite take down this Doomfist. The payloads looks to continue pushing. That's a big kill for them, but Empowered and Hopeful doing their level best, taking it the other direction. Huge EMP there from the Spire Leo. Benito swinging big. Is able to find the Sombra even while hacked away. And maybe Kommunism can stabilize, but it looks like too many attackers. Misadapt coming back in to contest. Nothing doing. There's the cap for the Throne. Solid first round for them on Junkertown.
Yeah, for sure. It really felt like Kommunism was just under attack from the Throne. The Throne was just 100% forward all the time. And when Kommunism spent their ults, they actually were able to stabilize a bit. But a lot of times the fights devolved into just really scrappy brawls. And then the focus from Kommunism kind of split, and it fell apart. And when you're running that Goats defense, you can't have that. Goats only works when you play as like a unit. You go, you speed onto a target, you just delete and go and go and go. But when you're against the Throne, who's running that triple DPS lineup, and all those DPS characters have such huge mobility, it can actually be really, really difficult to, get on top of them and burn them down, because they can just, jump away. Or they were playing Sombra there for a bit, so you can just teleport away. You were playing the Doomfist, you can just launch yourself across the map. Playing Genji, you can dash and climb. There's a lot of things that they're running that made it difficult.
Now 2 minutes in the time bank here for the Throne as they come out on the defense. For the attackers, though, see if it's more of the same. We saw Wyatt on the
quad
Sombra.
DPS.
Ooh, you're exactly right. Yeah, the quad DPS coming out here from the defense. I'm interested to see how they run this. I mean, obviously we saw it a little bit in the Lame Sauce showcase. Not a lot in the final there, but definitely in the games leading up to it. And Throne looking to replicate some of their success there. Hopeful in a good spot. Waiting for the attack to come back out. Coming in quickly from the back, though. Vinny on the wrecking ball. Who gets hacked, though. That's going to be a little tough. Not able to get away and melted immediately. Ooh. That's huge there from Ahoy. Nice kill. Obviously, Wyatt getting the credit for it, but Steve in a good spot able to get that pick. Either way, the defenders with 3 kills of their own, those DPS here is a little bit too strong. All of them getting in the feed there to take down the rest of the attack. And it started looking good, obviously, getting the first initial kill onto the only tank in this lineup, but ultimately unsuccessful. Vinny switching off the wrecking ball to a Roadhog. What do you think of that?
I think, well, Roadhog is, you know, Vinny's historic signature hero. It was something he was always very, very good at. I do think they're concerned a little bit here about the hacks, because they are in the Sombra on the attack, and Wrecking Ball can be kind of, you know, completely negated by running a Sombra. You can't roll around anymore. You can't slam. You can't do any of your abilities. Well, Roadhog can't heal. He can still kind of have an effect or have a presence on the field. Yeah, definitely still dangerous. Just with the short, especially with the changes they made to the gun last year, middle to late last year, where I feel like his effective area, if he's at least able to get close to you, if you're up on him, top of him, trying to hack you, he's in a position where he can still cause you quite a bit of damage. So you're exactly right, a little bit tougher. Now for the attack, though, Utility, the only one with an ultimate. It's Ahoy now getting hacked, though, as Aspire Leo in the back, trying to do everything he can. The EMP available. Cube looking for something with a pulse bomb. Can't quite find it. Vinny and Empower getting in the mix there with a couple kills. And again, Kommunism forced back into spawn. A lot like we saw in the first round on Kings Row. Now, hopefully, like we saw in Kings Row, they're able to finally break through this defense and get something going. But yeah, the problem with this though is that this map leads a lot more to the advantages, or the strengths that the Throne has. The Throne has a lot of really strong DPS players on their team, and you can see right now they're running quad DPS, and they're just running rampant with it. They have so many sight lines, so much high ground, and so many ways they can just, you know, run and just dare them to come out of their own spawn. Whereas Kommunism cannot really, you know, run their goats as easily on this map because you can't challenge them on the high ground.
Wyatt struggled a little bit with the Widow now coming in on the Tracer. Huge EMP, it's 5 there. Utility up, the only one not caught in it, able to use a Valkyrie, but now Hopeful with the Tactical Visor just having a complete field day. Fish in a barrel here, finds a triple kill. Huge for the Throne. And wow, what an EMP coming out from Aspire Leo. Gigantic for the defenders.
Hey, man, did lose his life for it, but that will not stop a Tactical Visor. Oh, Cube taken down by VAR there on the Lucio. And actually, they are getting a few picks.
Yeah, and this is exactly how it happened on Kings Row, like you said. A little bit of an overextension maybe by the Throne. It was a good EMP with a follow-up coming back in from the attackers, able to overpower the remaining defenders, and here they go, finally getting a little something going. Under 60 seconds, so still not a lot to work with and a long tract of land to overtake, especially with a 2-minute time bank on the other side, but you've got to expect that Kommunism feeling pretty good about at least moving now.
Yeah, definitely. So again, we run into the same high ups. Oh, we got a flanking hog over here.
Ooh,
does get burned though.
Gets completely punished for it. Yeah, that's not really what you expect to see from Vinny. Unfortunate there. Now a 6v5 as they roll into this first checkpoint. Again, though, you've got the Throne in a very good position, and they feel pretty good. And now they've got quite a few kills to back it up. So not too upset they lost Vinny there. And now with 17 seconds left, it starts to look real dicey for the attack.
Definitely, and they have so many ultimates. They just gotta. At this point, they might just hit the sound barrier and go in. But at the same time, Aspire Leo getting really, really close to that EMP, which would cancel the sound barrier, but Mr. Depp getting the kill on Empowered, trading for his own life for Hopeful.
Ahoy back on, and the kills finally going a little bit the way of the defense, but now to the other directions. Aspire and Hopeful combined for a double. There's another EMP that finds 4. Huge again from Aspire Leo. 9 players EMP'd in the last 2 EMPs there. Now's the sound barrier coming out from Varsity, looking to catch a couple. Ahoy's on the cart, though, able to backcap somewhat. You expect Aspire to come back. Cube there as well on the Tracer. The self-destruct now coming out from Ahoy, but doesn't quite find anything, and taken down while out of mech. So now overtime meter taken down. Things looking very rough for Kommunism. Finito doing what he can here on the point, but the shield's down and his health is dropping even faster. Finally going down there as Hopeful finds a double, and yeah, that'll do it. That is a win there for Kommunism, or for the Throne, I apologize, in week 3, going up 2-1 in the record. Yes,
though we do still play all 3 maps, even though it is a match win. We do play all 3 maps for map points.
Yeah, very true.
Do matter for the standings.
Yeah, and you expect the Throne will try and make up a couple of those map wins after having to forfeit that one match. But definitely going up with a solid finish here, and they just did it through a impressive defensive effort, right? We saw in Kings Row not really allowing Kommunism to come out of their spawn up until the last maybe minute or so, and then they kind of got overtaken a little bit in the midsection. But really strong play. We'll get a little bit more post-game thoughts when we return to the Overwatch console multi-tier tournament right after this. Hello, welcome back to the Overwatch console multi-tier tournament from the GM tier. This is Xbox NA and the Throne taking the 2-0 win over Kommunism, but we've got one more map to play, Horizon Lunar Colony, coming up next. Because map points, again, all important map points, and the Throne looking to get all 3 here. Kommunism looking for something out of this game after starting the season 0-3. So looking to get a little bit out of it. But, you know, we kind of saw a little bit more of the same. The Throne able to play a little bit looser, obviously, with such a solid defense to start, but then kind of getting punished for it, and Kommunism see an opening to come back through. They'll be attacking first on Horizon, so they're looking for maybe that gap in the armor, maybe that overcommit from the Throne a little earlier in this game. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. This is an opportunity for Kommunism to maybe maybe take a map off the throne. This is a little bit more of the style of map. It felt like they were doing a little better when they were able to run that more kind of goats type lineup. Where because not Kings Row, Horizon Lunar Colony, huge goats map, and definitely the potential to snowball into a second point if you get a late pick or an early pick on second point. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity that they could do here, but at the same time, Throne is an incredibly good team, and I don't think they want to lose a map off of Kommunism here. So it's definitely going to be an uphill battle for them. But if they're able to be more definitive, play as a unit, and focus down targets, they definitely have the chance to do so.
Yeah, exactly. This one, obviously, this map not maybe as beneficial for like a quad DPS. I feel like they were able to run that on Junkertown because of what you were saying, that there's wide sight lines and a lot of room for them to move and operate. But here a little bit harder, especially on defense, so you definitely not expect to see it, but that's something that we've seen the Throne use before, the quad DPS to overtake goats. So even if not even on Horizon, excited to see what that looks like later on. I think I don't know if any substitutions coming in for either side. We'll see if they are ready to go.
We now have Sir James Parker coming in for the Throne, and we have Strofer coming back in for Kommunism. And both teams are ready.
Fantastic. Horizon. Here we go. We got a solid win so far from the Throne. I'm looking to see Kommunism bounce back here. Obviously hitting a little bit of a snag early on here in week 3 and dropping this third game, and hoping they can find some success as we get towards the second half of the season.
Definitely. Now we do have Kommunism attacking first here, which some teams do like to say that, and actually I would agree with it because I prefer it as well. I prefer to attack first if I'm a team. If I think it's a little bit more advantage because you attack first, you know exactly how far you got, and you can kind of plan your defense accordingly. So like if you only capped first point, you didn't cap anything on second, well, you pretty much have to invest a large amount in your first point defense, and that actually will change the composition that you run. Because if you're expecting to have to not change in the second point, then you can just run a composition that fully hard invests in the first point. Where if you're expecting or you have to go in the second point, then you want a composition that you can kind of transition a little bit to use on both points without having to fully change all your characters and fully change your auto economy.
And ruin the momentum you get from, I think, just capture point.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like we do. I was actually wondering if the Throne was going to do this, because this is another map where the defense has really, really strong high ground across the entirety of the map, which then again leads to some of the Throne's advantages that they're really good at, which is their quad DPS. And they are running.
Ooh, looks like they are going to run it here. I don't think I've seen a quad DPS assault defense, so excited to see how they run this.
Is this quad DPS versus quad DPS?
Trying, if you can't beat them, join them a little bit here from Kommunism. We'll see how they decide to run this. They do have Finito here on the Wrecking Ball, Varsity on the Tracer, Hoyfell is going Sombra this time, and just Utility still back on the Mercy, like we've seen in Shore 4 there on the Hanzo. Already hacked, though, Utility in a very difficult position as it's Sombras on both sides. This time Aspire Leo getting in the back here onto Kommunism, and yeah, able to finally get the best of Utility. So that'll delay the start here a little bit. Vinny following right over, though. Yeah, and the defenders with a long respawn are actually going to come into a little bit of adversity if the attack decides to push this, but obviously they have no healer, so it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, the pick on the Mercy was actually pretty big. Oh, Aspire picking another one off.
Aspire Leo relentless on
They are really the res. James Parker getting Waya. And this is how these quad DPS compositions work. It's just constant pressure and constant, just getting picks.
Now it's Wyatt switching over to Ash.
Forever staggered.
Almost saw that on Junkertown. Now seeing it here. Powered already on Ash and 45% to Bob. So for James Parker there for the defenders. Getting another, yeah, Utility obviously is it's protect the president here. If you are the attackers, Utility is going to be the target, and they've got the Sombra, so you got to play it close to the hip, I think, and they're having a hard time keeping that Mercy up.
And you can see, look how far forward they are playing right now. They're playing nearly in their spawn. So at the same time, even if they were to lose people up here, they have so much space to retreat, and the attack still has to walk the entire way to the point. And maybe an opportunity to recontest.
Ahoy now in the back, again looking to see if we can do something.
I might need this later.
Finds empowered. Doesn't quite find the hack, however. Ash can't quite get it, but now he's got help from the Mercy. Translocates back, and that's the end of that. Other Sombras kind of playing in and around each other, looking for the hack here onto Vinny. Can't quite find it, but sees Hopeful, or rather, Sir James Parker instead. Sorry about that. There's the res up regardless. Yeah, really, it's just a back and forth. It's difficult to tell who really's got much of an advantage. I mean, obviously the Throne have the advantage here, but I don't know what the solution is for Kommunism. When do you make the switch to stop running the quad DPS if they're, really kind of struggling to go toe-to-toe in the same comp?
Yeah, I really do feel like they probably should switch up a little bit. And honestly, I was hoping they were going to run. While it's cool to see them try to go the quad DPS versus quad DPS, at the same time, I think they should just go with what works probably a little bit easier for them and go a little bit more with the goats lineup.
Hopeful now up with the Dragon Blade, looking for one. Gets the dash onto Ahoy and sees utility again. The Mercy dropping. Surefour the next, but the Blade's gone and he'll retire. 84 health, and I think we'll be able to get away. Finds the help of his Mercy. Aspire Lisa. Now back at it. Ahoy here with an EMP.
But at this point, they're down to pretty much a minute left. Like, I know they have so many ultimates, but now they've invested so much time. Why are you getting two, actually, which is actually pretty big?
Yeah, huge there, especially in the attacking position. Tries to use the ultimate, though. Gets canceled out. That is unfortunate, though. That could have really been the opportunity. Still a lot of ultimates on deck here for the attackers, and they're getting kills. Actually, Bob did come out. I really thought that was canceled. Why able to use Bob, Vinny dropping things? Yeah, Kommunism started to look a little bit better.
They
Again,
a good point now.
They absolutely do. For the third game in a row, under 60 seconds, they finally get the breakthrough at the first point and get on to try and get some sticking percentage. Still a lot of ultimates to work with.
They do, and they need to make sure they don't go to this fight with losing their ultimates, because they have so many.
That's a huge EMP again there from Aspire. Leo able to find 4 of the attackers on the point. Bob in trying to do something here for the defense. Getting a few of the kills they need, though. The attack still has numbers. The Valkyrie up, but dropping. Yeah, and I think all the kills starting to go the way of the Throne again. Primal Rage up here for Vinny, looking to push back Waya on the Ash. Rez is coming into the point as well. Yeah, not a lot of attacking representation. They did earn a single tick, so that's going to be at least that's going to be something there. But I think the Throne played the defense very strongly, and unfortunate that Ahoy was not able to use the EMP in that round. Difficult to go with that in your pocket.
Yeah, I really feel like they should have been a little bit more full with their ultimates, being aggressive and taking the attack first, because both sides have so many ultimates, and it never feels good to start losing people when you hit 5 ultimates.
Initiating match.
That's when your back's against the wall and you're down to those like 10 seconds left.
A lot of opportunity, and just kind of made a hash of it a little bit. Kommunism still, like we said, they have the 33, I guess 0.5%, so a little bit over a third. Have an opportunity to get something out of this game. But the Throne are not making it easy.
They are not, and like I mentioned, they did get a tech, so it's definitely possible for Kommunism to hold them here. It's just going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
And they need to play as a unit. That's one of the biggest things that the Throne has been doing for them. The Throne has obviously extremely mechanically gifted players, but at the same time, you can counter that with really strong teamwork.
Well,
it's hard, but yeah, you definitely saw it a few times, and Kommunism needs to definitely do it. Definitely gonna kind of keep sticking with it. It's very easy though at the same time when you're under so much pressure individually to lose focus and kind of scatter. You gotta stop thinking of like the overall plan, and you start almost being in like panic mode. And it's very easy for that to happen, even just a normal game. But it's something they need to do and try really hard to overcome.
More traditional comp here coming out for the defenders. They've got Waya on the Torb, Finito here playing the Orisa. Surefour sub coming in this round, coming in on the Sombra. A lot of snipers available though, or at long range damage dealers rather. Vinny, they're going quad DPS again with Vinny and Sir James Parker playing McCree, Widow. Yeah, already on the point quickly. Vinny making quick work. Starting to earn a little bit. Hopeful melted down quickly. There's the hack coming through. Wyatt with a nice double there for the defenders. Hopeful and Aspire both down. They may be able to hold on briefly. Vinny coming back around the corner finds that pesky Torbjorn. The defenders, I think, will hold this. Solid initial start for them.
They will, but they just let that McCree walk right forward. And actually nearly killed one of them there. Thankfully, there's the thing is defense matrix, but that was actually, that scared me for a second there. And the Throne is switching up now a little bit. Hopeful went over to that soldier, Sir James Parker onto the Sombra, and empowered onto the Hanzo. So they're kind of abandoning their on-point presence. I'm just gonna be like, oh, let's keep on how it worked for us before.
And you kind of see them going around this attacking left-hand side here. I think they've got Hopefully going around the other direction, or maybe may have gotten hacked there. But now coming onto the point quickly, Sir James Parker getting his opposite. Surefour dropping 6v5 here, but now evened up by Wyatt, who's doing well on the Torbjorn. Still an even fight here, 5v5. The defense looking to get set back up again. Finito in a good spot behind the shield. Sees Aspire Lisa, looks for the pull, can't quite find it, but Wyatt with yet another on Aspire Leo. Empowered, finally able to take down that Torbjorn. 60% to his Molten Core. Still 2 ultimates available, though. Here's a Torbjorn specialist. Aaron, I'm gonna
he's been doing really good on this Torb. He's actually been getting quite a lot of kills with it.
Yeah, he has. Good turret placement, doing well. Not quite at the Molten Core yet, but still 3 additional ultimates for the defense, and 2 pretty close with Finito and Surefour both in the 80s or so. 2 ultimates. Aspire Leo with the Dragon Blade and a Valkyrie available as well. Dragon Strike. There comes Aspire Leo. There's Dragon Strike to combine. The Blade looking for something. Hasn't quite found it yet, though. Yeah, those ultimates. Not a lot of.
Now.
Yeah, but there's not a lot actually coming through in the feed. Ahoy and Short for getting 2. Vinny's able to find one the other direction for the throne. There's an EMP that catches just about everybody.
Oh, I actually don't know if that was a good idea. Well, maybe I should have said that. Maybe I said that a little too early.
That throne look like they're finally able to wrap up here, melting down the remaining members. Finito doing something, but it's going to be really difficult. Getting swarmed there by the rest of the throne. Just 33% to go, and that will do it. The 3-0 victory for the throne here in week 3.
A pretty solid victory, I would say, too.
Yeah, rather comprehensive here from the throne. Again, strong defensive effort, and I think their attacking coordination was just fun to watch. Kommunism look to come back in week 4 and still looking for that elusive first win of the season. Ooh, really a solid performance there from the Throne. Nice 3-0 victory here, going up 2-1 in week 3. Kommunism, like we said, just going back to it and looking for a way to get their first win of the season. But like we said, just comprehensive from the Throne. I think that we saw on Kings Row, I think in all 3 maps, it took Kommunism almost their entire initial time bank just to get onto the point and start getting something going. So really impressive from the Throne, definitely a team to look out for. And yeah, what is even your advice to teams coming out playing the Throne going forward?
I think the biggest thing is don't rely on your ability to outlook mechanically skill them. You have to play as a team. You have to rely on having superior teamwork than the Throne, because they will always be relying on the mechanics primarily. I mean, some of them have obviously played with each other before, but when you're at that level, oftentimes you kind of fall back to mechanics. I mean, you see the Throne running quad DPS. Quad DPS can be a very effective composition, but at the same time, it doesn't really rely on your teamwork that much. It relies on your mechanical skill, of which they have a lot of. So I think you need to rely on your teamwork, whether it be running something like a dive to destroy quad DPS. Dive, actually, running kind of a dive goats composition can work really, really well against quad DPS. Because you have both the tanks and you have the big dive potential at the same time. I'm just going to keep stressing the teamwork part. You have to play as a unit. Everything you do has to be in support of the team. You can't take those 1v1s because you will most likely lose.
Yeah, we definitely saw it Kommunism with those flashes of kind of opportunities. They really kind of took those fights to the Throne. It was when they were grouped up, coming out of spawn and kind of waiting a little bit, not getting staggered out, and just winning team fights with a group effort. So we'll see if we see a little bit more of that in week 4. Guys, we've got a special episode of the breakdown coming up directly after this game. Give us a few minutes, we'll get switched over. But that is your final score. The Throne 3-0 over Kommunism in the Xbox NA kind of region, I guess, tier. From the multi-tier tournament, GM, rank, and these games are a lot of fun to do, and really appreciate you being able to join me, Headrammer. Any final thoughts out there to the audience before we go to the breakdown?
I guess be on the lookout for the Throne. They're coming for you.
They are coming for you. Yeah, 100%. So we'll finish up here, and like I said, be ready for it. We'll have the breakdown for you here shortly. Stick around. We'll have the stream go dead for a second. We'll bring it right back up. Don't you worry about that. But yeah, solid.
Stream will be resuscitated.
Resuscitated indeed. That'll do it for us. I'm your host.
Stick
Dalton Pepper,
around.
joined by Headrammer, and we'll see you shortly.